back to the scan screen share again. Okay, so right now I'm turning on my intraoral and the AI function is on, and I will do the test scan. Okay. So I just scan the half of my jaw, up jaw, and I will talk about those functions at this corner. So first is texture. Texture means that if you want color or not for your model. If you disable this texture, as you can see, you will only get those gray models. It will scan only for the shape, but not the not the color. So most time we will enable this one, texture. And next is the called tooth color. So this tooth color, as you can see, when you enable this tooth color like this, there are some dark gray area. So this area, for this area, that means the scanner has collected some data, but it does not collect enough the data. So it would be a very good guide when the doctors or the customers use our scanner for some first times. So they may need to turn on this tooth color function as a guide to scan the teeth or something like model. So, but today I'm doing the screen sharing. I will turn off this tooth color to ensure the best the experience. So next is the AI optimizations that I was talking before, and this is the view log. So when I doing the test scan before, you can see the model will like turn over as I move the scanner. But if you choose the view log, so this model will not move again. It will fix in this view. And finally is mental tooth scan. So usually we can scan some mental tools if you do not enable this function. But if you find that it's very hard to scan some mental teeth, just enable this function and try again. So I will finish let me finish this scan first. So I just finished my aperture scan, and I will introduce those editing function here. So first is it's basically you can remove the data that you do not want, just like this. It's more like a brush. So delete those data that is not necessary. Okay. And next is the remove isolated data. If you find some isolated data, you can just click this. It will remove all those isolated data. And this HD function is called refine area, that it will enable when you go to next step. For if I will show you when it will enable the when you go to next step and go back to the up jaw. because it needed to do some post-processing before you enable this function. And this is a part log. Part log means that you can, log other, log, you can log these areas. So this blue area means that this data is logged, and if we do the editing scan, those data around this in this blue area will not be added, because as I mentioned before, not more frames does not mean more accurate. And it will, on contrast, it will affect your accuracy. So if you, or I want to do editing scan, for example, to fix this hole, I may need to lock other part. So just click OK. It will turn to green, and I will do the editing scan. So only this area we will have some more data, but not those green areas. And just click finish. So right now it's going to the lower jaw scan, and if we go back to the upper jaw, as you can see, this HT function is enabled. So what does this HT function do? So usually, after we scan, the software will do the post-processing, and during this post-processing procedure, it will compress our data. So if you are trying to have the best quality, and you do not want to compress your data for some certain working teeth, you can just click this refine area and select one teeth, for example this one, and so all data in this area that will not be compressed. It will remain the original data. So that's it. Okay, so next I will go to the lower jaw scan. So the lower jaw scan is finished, and let's do that. Okay. So I will talk about the so all the functions is same as before, and for this undercut function, that means you can check undercut during this step. So it's quite useful when the doctor is doing the tooth preparation. If they find that they have some undercut area, so the red area indicates the deeper undercut, they can redo the preparation, and so save the time for both the patient and the doctors. So just click exit. So right now all the upper jaw and the lower jaw is finished. The scan is finished. Next, we can go to the total jaw scan and just click finish. Beside the click finish to enter the next step, you can also use the motion control here. So there is a button on the top of the scanner body, and you just need to click it twice. There will be a window showed in the middle, and then just move the scanner tip, the scanner to the right. It will go to the next step. And first is, So as you can see, there will be three options at the bottom of the window. It will require you to scan the three different bytes, but we recommend to just scan 2 bytes, left and right, not the middle one. And also, for the byte scan, it's usually only requires to 3 to 6 Ts. It's very. So I will show you how. So after byte scan, so when all the scanning is finished, just click finish here, and it will do the final post processing. It will optimize my upper jaw and the lower jaw and those byte scans. So it will take 2 to 3 minutes. So let's go back to the PowerPoint to see if you guys have any questions. Okay, present. Okay, do you guys have any questions related to this case and or related to our functions? Okay, so let's go back to the software again. Okay, just finish the post-processing. So as you can see, this is my teeth after post-processing. So it looks way better during the scan. And here are some functions at this pre-design step. The first is that this is a model list. You can see or hide those models, and you can also adjust the transparency for some certain part like this. And the next is the coordinate adjustment. Just click here. You can adjust the coordinate. So this step is mainly for the byte adjustment. It will make the image more easy to see. And the next is the mark teeth, and it's 23, right? So I will mark my 23 teeth. So it will help the lab to know which teeth they need to work on. Okay. Next is the byte adjustment. So you can try to open. So this colorful area indicates the byte, and you can adjust the deep of this byte by adjusting these numbers. So I will just keep it default. Okay, so. And here's the margin line function. Because I'm not doing the real case, my T-cell is not prepared. So I may not able to draw the margin line here. But if the doctors are doing the real case, they can draw the margin line for the prepared teeth. But also, you can also do this step in some design software, but our software also offers this function. So next is again, same thing, the undercut. It will show the undercut area like this. Okay, so the final function during this step is called AQ design. So what is AQ design? Let's go back to PowerPoint again. So the AQ design is kind of a bridge between our scanner and the printer. And the data that's scanned from our scanner needed to be done some process before it becomes printer ready data. So this is what AQ design do, and I will show you how to use this AQ design. Go back to the okay, this is the AQ design. So just click OK. It will import my model I just scanned. So this is my teeth without texture, and we can add those teeth at this at this stage. For example, I can remove the unnecessary data again. So you can use those tools underneath and click OK. So just click the next step, and it will give you the option to adjust the model height. You can just drag this plane like this, up or down, and choose the model type. Do you want a hollow or solid? I will choose solid here, and click the next step. As you can see, it will generate the base for you. So like this. Actually, right now this teeth is ready for the print, but we can also add some attachment. For example, text. Just type something you want. Put on the model like this. And you can adjust the text height or text size. And beside text, you can also add a frame, something like a articulator, but we only provide those default options. You may not to choose any customized frame. So like this, and just click next. It will take some time to do the processing also. So let me check if you have any questions. Specifically here refer to that. What are the technical? Filling holes after scanning will fill with black, or it will filling hole with the matched color, like the color around the holes. So what the specifications for the PC? It's the same thing that for the graphic card, it should be RTX 2060 or higher. For the memory, should be should be more than the 16 gigabyte. So that's the same. Let's go back to so right now it's finished. The post-processing for those model is finished. As you can see, it's a printer-ready model. And if you also install the AccuWare, that is data preparation software for our AccuFab printers, you can click just print here. It will open the AccuWare automatically for you. But today we are just talk about the LS3. I will not go that deep. So I will just click this return. One thing I want to mention is that this data that export from the AQ design is only have the BD format, which is the Shining3D encrypted format, which means the data that comes out of the AQ design, you cannot use this model to some third-party printers, especially for those third-party slicing software. You can only use the AccuWare that's designed for our AccuFab printers. So if you want to, use a third-party printer, you need to use the other designing software to make some adjustment for the model you just scan. So that's it. I add one of our labs to SFC, but they are not coming in the setting. The different function that can be chosen for our lab to able to accept the scans. So this question, I will answer this question when I talk about the dental cloud. So actually, you need to transfer your transfer your file format. There's a list that you can choose in the dental cloud, and after the transformation, you can download the STL file. So I will remember your question and answer later. Okay, so this is the first case about the fulcrum, and if you do not have any more questions, I will go to the next case, which is the implantation model. Okay. Let's go to the PowerPoint again. Next is it's also the restoration type, but it's an implant model. There are some different when we try to create an order. So I will open the video and show the what models we are going to use. So this is the implantation model I'm going to use for today's webinar. So just like this. Okay, turn off the video again. So as you can see, we need to create different orders and choose implantation. And then during the scan, we have I think that there are two more steps. One is hole digging, and another is scan the body. And yeah, let's go to the scan. So first is create a new order and make sure you choose the restoration type. And the second is the two selection is 25 is the custom apartment, 27 and 26 is platonic, and also you need to choose anti. That's it. That is the how you create the order for my model. So just click scan. So as I mentioned before, when you try to scan for these physical models, you need to turn off the intraoral, because if you turn on this function, it will not collect any data. So let me scan. Okay. So I will show you if I turn on this AI function, what will happen. So if I turn on this AI optimization, enable it, and do the scanning again, as you can see, the screen will freeze and it will not collect any data. So please just remember, turn off the AI function when you're going to scan for the physical model. So I will finish my scan here. Just got some. So since it's a test version, it's still not very stable. We got some bugs. Okay. So just click finish. Okay. Next is the hole digging. I just mentioned it before. So the hole digging is that you need to delete data around this implantation location. Select and double click, and for this is also double click. So why we need to do this step? Why we need to do the hole digging? Go back to the again. So the reason why we need to do the whole digging is that our gingiva is flexible. So this shape will change when we try to insert, when we try to insert those scanner bodies. When I try to insert scanner, which will cause the align fail. So please remember that the gingiva is soft and flexible. That's why we want to delete the data around this implantation location to ensure the successful alignment for those data. So I just install the scanner bodies for one. And why? The reason also we will choose to scan the scanner bodies one by one for these two reasons. First, some and clinic may have only just one scanner body, so they have to do it one by one. But another important thing is that if the scanner bodies has interface with each other. So right now this is more like a parallel scanner bodies like this, and you can install these two scanner bodies at the same time and scan at the same time. But if the scanner bodies have some angles like this, I'm not sure if you can see it like this, they have interface with each other. So at this time, you have to do it one by one, right? Okay, again, I will turn off my video. It shows my network is not quite stable here. So go back to the software again. So after we finish the whole digging, we will just click the finish. And all those existing data will be logged, and the same thing, it will be marked with green color. So first, scan the body. We need to scan. Okay, down the first. Okay, guess we need to do some laser scan for this one. Okay. Also, before we try to scan for the next scan bodies, we need to delete this data, right? For the same reason, make sure that there is no data in this hole, and click OK. And next is the lower jaw scan. It's pretty much the same thing as before. You just need to scan for it. delete some unnecessary data. For example, this is my finger. Delete those. It will make our post-processing easier. Click OK, and finish. So also the final step is the bed scan again. Just 2 bed scans. Next, on the other side. Okay. So these 2 bed scans are finished. Just click finish. Again, it will do the post-processing. And during this time, I will check the chatting room to see if you guys have any questions related to this case.